For more than a century, the fresh sea air and white sandy beaches have been attracting visitors to the Victorian hamlet of Lorne. The idyllic coastal town is situated along one of the world's most iconic stretches of tarmac, the Great Ocean Road. For the riders in Amy's Otway Classic and Amy's Grand Fondo, you could not find a better setting. The Subaru National Road Series comes to a very beautiful part of Victoria for the 110km Amy's Otway Classic, starting here in Lorne, and they do a big loop of the Otway Ranges. Very difficult race as well. The first 40 kilometres are going to be along the Great Ocean Road, and then they hit a 10km climb up to Skeens Creek. Very difficult climb, and it's the area where we do really expect to see riders like Ruth Corset, Ellen Skerritt, the two best climbers that we see on paper in this race, really try and attack and make this race as difficult as possible.
Looking forward to the two big climbs. That first climb is quite good. I think that's going to really break it up.
The words climb and hill were mentioned far too many times in our team meeting last night, but we're looking to our Suzuki Brumbies teammates, Laura Darlington, Alison Rice, Alex Nichols, to kind of show what they've got on the climbs, and I'll try and play a supporting role to them today.
So stoked to be here today. I mean, after the deep vein thrombosis, and I had pulmonary embolisms in both lungs. So yeah, a bit of a life-threatening condition I had. So pretty lucky to be back in action, and yeah, super excited to be out racing on the beautiful roads around here, and looking forward to the race today.
The Great Ocean Road provided a fantastic backdrop for the early part of the race.
And it was absolutely amazing, picturesque, perfect weather, couldn't have been better.
Our plan today was to keep it together along the Great Ocean Road. There were a few attacks along there. We managed to keep it together.
It was a pretty controlled race, quite turny, and the bunch was pretty flowy. Got to the first main climb, and Holden, as expected, started to fire it up a bit.
So I decided to attack, didn't get away, the group was still there. I waited a little bit, attacked again, they were still dangling there, and then probably a minute later, I attacked again, and that was when I got a good gap.
This was a pretty hard race. I think the course, the terrain itself was always going to play into the hands of the climbers.
I bridged across to her, and we worked together to the top.
Bridie O'Donnell and Rebecca Locke put in a brave move to try and distance themselves from the rest of the main field, but eventually they would be reeled back in.
By the top we got a time gap of 3 minutes, so we thought, okay, we've got to keep that going now.
The Suzuki Brumbies team led the chase back in the main field, which was whittled down to 16 riders.
The team did an amazing job on the front, trying to bring back as much time as possible. It was always going to be a difficult task because those two riders are so strong.
We had plenty of feedback from the com cars and from Julian, our team manager.
Gap's out to about 3:30 now. The girls looking good, and we're committed all the way to the line.
We discussed the win beforehand and while we were riding, and it just goes to show, you know, what our team is like. We're all pretty close. We get along well together, and we give it 100% for each other.
And as the two leaders eased towards the finish line, the gap came down to 3.5 minutes, with Ellen Skerritt taking the race victory over Ruth Corset.
That was so hard. It's probably the hardest race I've ever done. Ruth helped me really well. She was talking to me heaps, being really bossy and telling me what to do, so I think we worked really well together.
And after our first and second place getters had plenty of time to celebrate, the sprint for third place was taken out by Rebecca Locke, just edging out Alexandria Nichols. It was an outstanding performance by the 19-year-old Queenslander Ellen Skerritt, taking out the mountains classification, along with the intermediate sprint competition and the overall race victory, with her teammate from Holden Women's Cycling in second position, Ruth Corset, and in third position from Liv Giant Shimano, it was Rebecca Locke. And after another strong performance by Holden Women's Cycling's Ruth Corset, she extends her overall lead in the Subaru National Road Series.